This man backpedaled and said, I need more. Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going through all the books that I read in the month of November. I read a total of 21 books, in which the majority are dark romances. And I blame one specific interconnected standalone series that really had me hooked and just wouldn't let me go. As you can see, not all 21 books are here with me physically. Most of them are on the Kindle or on audiobook. I'm gonna go through each book, give you guys my rating, as well as what I thought of them, and whether or not I would recommend them to you guys. Alright, the first book that I read is actually at the very bottom of this pile. Give me a second. Oh. The first book is Enigma by Runix. This is a dark academia romance with a very gothic and eerie setting. This book follows Salem, our female main character, who is a legacy child of the secret society that exists in the town, and she arrives at Mortimer University, where deaths of students seem to be occurring at a frequent matter, and one of those student deaths happened to be her older sister. Now she goes to this university in order to find out what did happen to her sister and why are all these students dead and no one can figure out why they are. So basically the detectives and the police at this damn town don't know what the hell they're doing. So she takes matters in her own hands and also ends up meeting Casimir van der Waal. He's a dark and twisted male main character who is also very fascinated with the idea of life and death, same as Salem. So they bond over that, and he creates these very realistic yet abstract paintings of the murders that have occurred. There's a lot of tension in this book. The small touches that occur just really builds up their chemistry. So when you get to that moment where they do the thing, oh, it is hot. I believe I gave this book 3.75 stars. I do wish we got more from the ending. It felt a little bit rushed. The conclusion kind of just got thrown at us. I love the tension. I love the female main character and the male main character and their chemistry and their romance. I just do wish there was a little more to the plot in the end. The next thing I read is I, Medusa. This recently came out in the month of November, and this is a Medusa reimagining. Definitely one of the most iconic figures in the Greek mythology. We follow her as she fights for her freedom, manipulated as a pawn by all the gods and goddesses around her. Amid all of those chaos, she also finds love. The right kind of love. This book also talks about very heavy topics, so read your trigger warnings, because if you know the tale of Medusa and how she came to be, then you definitely have an idea of how this one's also gonna go, because it plays a major role in her becoming Medusa. I gave this one 4 stars, and I highly recommend it to those who want to get into Greek mythology or who has loved Greek mythology. Next, I read Hollow by Karina Hall, which is also another dark gothic academia romance. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I believe it is a first in a duology, especially with the cliffhanger that we have at the end. This has what I initially thought was a love triangle. It turns out to be a white choose romance-esque. It's 2 male main characters and 1 female main character, and they all get together. They're a couple, and it was actually quite fun to read about. It is a Sleepy Hollow retelling with a very eerie twist and very hot but tormented men. One of the male main characters is a professor and another is a childhood friend. I personally love the professor ex-student trope and ate that shit up. I do kind of wish we got a little bit more time for the chemistry for all 3 of them to build up, but seeing as it's only the first book, I'm guessing in the second book it'll be explored more there. Overall though, I had such a good time with this book. The next 2 books are actually in the Dark Verse universe by Runix. This series, I think it's a 6-book series. The first book is The Predator. I gave this one 4 stars. This gave us a great introduction to our female main character Morana and our male main character Tristan Kane, the Predator. The tension between him and Morana was agonizing, but oh so freaking delicious. I definitely struggled with the writing in this one. I think it's because of how certain sentences just felt like it cut off too soon and how repetitive some of the descriptions and emotional explanations were. So at times it kind of felt like a broken record. This book basically follows Morana, right? Our female main character, and we really only get her POV in this. We do get our male main character's POV, but at the end. Our poor man only has 1 chapter to his name, and it's truly sad. I really wanted to get into more his head. They're both from rival mafia families. Morana is a computer genius. Tristan Kane is a deadly killer. And the tension between them, my god, I was curling my fingers like this to the point that it would start to hurt because I was like, It's so good. And when Tristan texted her, apparently you're not out of my system, Miss Vitello. After only agreeing to do it just to get each other out of the system, this man backpedaled and said, I need more. And then we read The Reaper, which is the second book, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. This was definitely better than the first one. We got more dialogue from our main character, which I was truly happy about. But we also didn't get a POV till the end for him, so I was still bummed out about that. Although in this one, he still barely talks, but I completely become undone whenever his name is brought about, or whenever he does speak a word. I also love the progress that Morana has made from the first book to this one. She definitely showed her claws in this. She has more of a backbone where she can truly back up the actions or choices that she makes, which definitely made me like her more. Now the plot definitely got thicker. Like the absolute wild ride I got in the last 10% of this. Like where the hell are we going with that ending? You're the girl I killed for and you're the woman I died for. You are mine and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Tristan motherfucking Kane. Next, I read an e-art copy of A Fortnight to Forever by Alicia E. Anderson. This book was actually supposed to come out in December, but unfortunately got pushed back to January 2026, so I can't really talk much about it. But I gave it 4 stars, and the premise of this book is that it follows a woman who is cursed to slumber for 100 years, only to wake up for a fortnight. She continues to endure this type of cycle for centuries, hoping that she'll be able to break this damn curse, until one fortnight, Quinn ends up meeting our main character, Mav. They end up going on this journey together and gathering unlikely acquaintances in order to break this curse. The world itself is very enchanting, filled with fascinating creatures, rich cultures, and telling a story along the way of the injustices of this kingdom. This is a fantasy romance adventure that I truly had fun reading. These next few books are from the dark romance series that I was telling you about earlier that completely had me hooked. So hooked that I finished 8 out of the 11 books that are out right now. It is the Perfectly Imperfect series by Neva Altaj, and it is a dark mafia romance interconnected standalone series. But you do meet some of these characters before their actual book came out. So really you should try to read them in order, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. The first one is Painted Scars. I gave this one 3 stars. This is the book that started it all. It follows Roman, our male main character, who is the Pakan of a Bratva family, aka a Russian mafia family, and our female main character, Nina, who is a famous artist. This is a very quick and easy read, very bingeable. It has fake marriage with an age gap, and the male main character loves to spoil his woman. It is also quite spicy, so beware of that. And the plot may have some of its flaws, actually a lot of flaws, and the couple may make some very questionable decisions, but they're my cute and stupid couple, so it's okay. Next is Broken Whispers, which is the second book in the series, and I gave this one 3 stars as well. This follows a mute prima ballerina and a damaged Russian mafia man. I absolutely love our female main character, Bianca. She is such a baddie. She can literally clock a gun and pop pop, but she was fucking born to do it. This book gave more of a Beauty and the Beast vibe. It's definitely fast-paced. Like all of this occurs in 1 month of meeting each other, and this has the arranged marriage forced proximity trope. And even though everything's happening so fast, they are still very swoon-worthy. Like I found myself in awe of the love that they have for each other, no matter how fast it occurred. This one has a lot of spicy scenes. The third book is Hidden Truths. This is one of my favorites in the series so far. I gave this one 4 stars. I ate this one up so good. It's always the unhinged, traumatized, deadly killer male main characters that I fall for. And Sergei is definitely that man. I think the plot in this was one of the best ones. We get so much more background on the characters and way more action, which I love. I just love a bloodbath scene, and Sergei delivered with that scene. Like this one is a trained ex-Black Ops with tattoos, blonde hair, and piercing blue eyes, and he's literally called a psychopath in this with the mentality of who did this to you? Like who does not want that? And Angelina, our female main character, also another baddie. She speaks her mind, is beyond loyal, and is a horrible liar, but is the only one that can calm Sergei down. The plot progression is also fast-paced in this one, since it's a shorter book like the first 2 books in this, but it had such a delicious slow burn romance, which I did not expect. And I really appreciate it because it really built up the chemistry between them, and it made it more intense and more believable. Next is Ruined Secrets. I unfortunately did not love this one. I gave it 2 stars. This is also an age gap, but the age gap is what the male main character really focused on, which made it very icky for me. I did not like it. He kept calling her teenage wife, which why? Why? Nothing weird happened between them when she was underage. When she got a marriage arrangement with him when she turned 18, she was really happy about it. I, on the other hand, was like, ugh, because the man has known you since you were a baby. It was just a no for me. I'm sorry, I don't know. Next, Stolen Touches. I also really love this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. This follows the dawn of an Italian mafia family, Salvatore, and he's the definition of an emotionless hero who completely folds for the woman he loves. Like, we're talking one smile from our female main character, Meline, and he completely just becomes undone. I love the early angst between the two characters, and the mutual hatred they have for each other turned into an intense romance that I completely was hooked on. Factory Souls, I gave 4 stars. This is the book that absolutely broke me. We are talking tears on tears on tears on end. This is a heavy, dark book, to the point that it is very gut-wrenching to read about. Please, please, please read your trigger warnings before you dive into this one. Asia, our female main character, her story, I can guarantee you, will definitely break you. And our male main character, Pasha, the way this man loves her with everything that he has, he helps her heal her trauma piece by piece, doing every little thing possible to make sure that she does not get overwhelmed. He is so perceptive of her needs, so aware of the things that scare her, and he helps her overcome them one by one. I have the need to somehow absorb you into my chest, so you'll always be with me, safe from harm, only mine, forever. I love you to the point of madness, Asia. Stop. Next, Burned Dreams, I gave 2.5 stars. This is a bodyguard trope, my first bodyguard trope, and it was very underwhelming. This has a male main character that they have introduced a couple of times in the previous books, really building up his character. But once we got to his book, there is not much of that character that they spoke of. So I was quite disappointed in that. The man that is described in this story is a little thick and a little slow when it comes to things that mattered, especially when it comes to our female main character, Ravenna. For a man who became so possessed and obsessive over her, just from meeting her, how did he not know the things that were happening to her? When there had been so many clues and instances where he did feel like something was going on, but he never followed through. I think the idea of revenge that he had going on in his mind for something that had happened in the past just overtook that and made him real thick. Yeah, I don't really like this one. And then the 8th book, which is the last book that I read in the series, is Silent Lies, and it is my favorite book so far. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Drago Popov is the head of the Serbian mafia family, and this man follows through with every word that he delivers. He literally took a guy's eye out for staring at his wife. Yeah, this also has an arranged marriage trope, and our female main character, Sienna, is actually the twin sister to Asia. She has this very outgoing persona, but what they don't know is how truly broken she is on the inside. But Draco sees it all. He sees through her and her pretending, and this catches Sienna off guard because she finally met someone that can see through all what she's been doing. Drago is another top mafia man who loves his woman with everything that he has. The obsession, the possessiveness, no bounds, and the subtleties in their attraction for one another was everything. The quiet ways they cared for each other, the intensity simmering under every moment, and the way they claimed one another with one simple word, mine, completely had me combusting, okay? If you're gonna read one book from the series, let it be this one. After reading all those dark romances back to back to back, I needed a change of pace. So I picked up a highly anticipated read for the year, and it's called The Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. This is the 4th book in the Gods and Monsters series, which came out at the end of October. You might have seen this in my 24-hour reading vlog. I ate this shit up. I ate it up good. And if you had seen that reading vlog, you would have seen so many emotions come out of me. So much crying. Pretty much sums up this book. This series itself is a dark urban fantasy romance. This book itself, I gave 5 stars. It was perfection. Even though it felt like I got rammed by a train. Amber, why? Why? Especially the ending. That is diabolical of you. I can't really say much about this without spoiling the book, but just know that we have so much more POVs of characters that we love, and some POVs that may not be so pleasant. The author just really knows how to make you hate a character with everything that you have. One thing remains true though. Samkyul and Diana's devotion, obsession, possession, and all-consuming love for one another is incomparable. The way that they would burn the world for one another. Their level of love is totally unmatched. And then I read Eldritch by Carrie Lake. This is the 2nd book in the Eating Woods trilogy. As you can tell, she was no easy read. She was also very thick. Therefore, I read it on the Kindle. I gave this one 4 stars. This is a dark, gothic fantasy trilogy, where specifically in this one, we get our male main character, Zivander's backstory, which this man is definitely a tortured soul. He has been through hell. Like, having to read his past in every other chapter is so heartbreaking. The slow burn romance between him and Mavet, though, eating it up. Carrie Lake is definitely in her element whenever she writes slow burn romances because she does it so damn well. Like the fine, vivid details that she feeds us. Wow. Just wow. Next, I finished off a dark romance trilogy with You're Next by Tate James. This is from the Devil's Backbone trilogy by her. Unfortunately, a very underwhelming end to the trilogy. I gave this book 2.5 stars. Where did the plot go? Where did they go? The smut completely bulldozed the storyline. Like, we're talking 80% spice and 20% plot. And that's so disappointing considering how we left off with book 2. We could have had so much better, but we were given less. Everyone just became dumb and dumber in this book. Where did the smartness go? Where did the planned tactics go? I don't know. Everyone's just getting kidnapped left and right. The romance also was very subpar. Our female main character Ashley's relationship with all 4 men, Nate, Keith, Royce, Carter, were purely out of physical needs and wants. Like the emotional chemistry just went out of the window. We were building up so much from book 1 and book 2 only to get that? I don't accept it. Then after reading that disappointing book, we read a predicted 5-star read, which turned out to be indeed a 5-star banger, which is Callie Hart's Brimstone. This is the second book in the Fae and Alchemy series by her. The first book is Quicksilver. This one just really progressed the story even more and the love that these characters have for each other. Also, look at this. We get Carrie and Swift in this one, in this edition. Yes, sir, I love that man. He is one of the best side characters to ever exist in fantasy. Like, he gives the vibes of Riddock from Fourth Wing, and I love that man. It has been a while since I've felt like this for a romantasy, and Brimstone definitely gave all the feels. The characters, the plot, the romance just had me all so excited, and it was very fulfilling to read. So much has happened in this book, yet the pacing felt right. Like, there's a lot to take in, but nothing ever felt rushed. And that ending, I have so many questions. I have so many questions, and I need the third book immediately. Next, I listened to one of the most traumatizing audiobooks out there ever. It is called Painter's Obsession, Volume 1. It is completely dark, the darkest read I've had all year, and I gave it 4 stars. I don't know what that says about me, but I enjoyed the hell out of this, no matter how disgusting I felt, how upsetting my stomach became from all the events that occurred. And when I mean the darkest book, I mean pitch black. There is no romance whatsoever. This does not even have a happy ever after. And I believe it's a duology. You get thrown in the mind of a true psychopath with zero hint of redemption. It is a depraved horror erotica with body horror and a level of depravity that is immeasurable. There is a massive dose of Stockholm Syndrome in this one and a forced bisexual awakening. Read your trigger warnings. 100% read your trigger warnings. Do not skip that part because it truly warns you on what you're about to see. And yet I can't deny how much these characters and their story have a grip on me while I was listening to it. I still think about them and it's been a couple of weeks already. I need to read volume 2, but I'm not ready. The cliffhanger in this was vile and listening to the audiobook just made it 10 times better. So I feel like I should wait for the audiobook to come out for book 2. Instead of reading it, because the experience that I've had in this, incredible. The whole time I felt so emotionally wrung out, queasy, and overwhelmed in every possible way, but I just could not stop listening to it. I actually recommend the audiobook of this if you want to get out of your reading slump and out of your comfort zone, because I was really out of mine and I still enjoyed it, no matter how horrifying it was. The last 2 books I read in November is in fact Redeeming 6 and Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh from the Boys of Tommen series. Starting with Redeeming 6, as the name suggests here, I gave it 6 fucking stars. 6 stars to infinity stars, really. Joey and Eva just has my entire heart, body, and soul. Their fucking story is everything. This, hands down, is my favorite Boys of Tommen's book. Literal ride or dies, guys. I can't even begin to explain the weight and impact Aoife and Joey's story has on me. What they go through is not something everyone could survive. Navigating a relationship filled with trauma and addiction would make most people walk away, remove themselves from the pain, and never look back. But Aoife and Joey don't do that. They fight. They fight for themselves and for each other, no matter how hard or painful it gets. They fight to be together, to live a life side by side one another. There were so many moments in this where I just completely broke down for them. Like, I could feel my heart shattering into a million pieces over and over and over again, because they seem to reach the deepest part of me that I guard the most. They touched it and they made it their home. They made themselves unforgettable and they settled in the very core of me that I can't get rid of them. I can't. I would say their love is raw, but it is also the realest out of them all. Flaws included, like the kind of love that makes you believe in soulmates, because that's what they are. If anyone embodies that word, it is Aoife and Joey. Tied together through years of friendship and longing, through the darkest nights to the brightest days. I'm gonna cry again. From hell and back, they stayed. They stayed for each other. And I have so much more to say about them, but this video is already getting so long, so we're just gonna cut it off there for Aoife and Joey. Let me just share 2 quotes from these characters that I feel encompasses their love for one another. From Aoife, she says, "I'm the girl who wholeheartedly wants you. I'm the girl who wholeheartedly loves you. The hurler, the mechanic, the boy, the protector, the asshole, the lover, the addict." And then it's coming again. And then from Joey, my dear baby Joey, I love him with everything that I have. He says, "I couldn't understand it, much less explain it, but when I was with her, I felt like I was drowning and breathing at once. I felt like I was riding this thrilling wave, and it didn't matter if I fell or not, because I could only land on softness. I wasn't going to get hurt this time. She wasn't going to hurt me. I'm not okay." Anyway, just know how much I love this. 6 stars, infinite stars, my fucking favorite in the series. And lastly, I followed up with Taming 7, which is Claire and Gibbsy's story. My baby Gibbsy deserves the fucking world. I just want to give him every hug and kiss possible. My poor boy has been through one of the worst things to possibly exist in this horrible world of ours, and has carried that burden alone for fucking years. He needs space to work on his trauma, and he didn't really get that chance in this book. This entire series itself just completely messed me up in every way. It's definitely my least favorite in the series. I gave it 4 stars. It just felt like it was very much centered on Lizzie and Huey, which is the next couple in the next book, like a prequel to their story rather than a Claire and Gibbsy story. Don't get me wrong, their backstory is very cute. It is very lovable. Their banter is everything. They speak to each other like they're a married couple already. However, I felt like we lacked the emotional depth to one another. Like, we didn't really get to delve deeper in that before shit hit the fan. It is adorable that they knew each other from childhood though. I really like that. I'm just hoping book 2 gives us more, because they deserve more. And that for us readers, we get the conclusion and the closure we're looking for them. And a happy ever after, I hope. We get to see a lot of the other characters in this though. Like the interactions with one another. Joey and Aoife, my ride or die. Shannon and Johnny, a freaking adorable couple. Mammy K, Daddy K. And the Lynch boys, so cute. Huey and Lizzie though, there is definitely something more to them. I just started Lizzie's book, and I already know her book is gonna destroy me. Otherwise, Claire and Gibbsy's story, I need more from them. Anyway, those were all the 21 books that I read in November. It was a really great reading month. I had a good time, and I read a lot of dark romances, which is really not that surprising. But the amount that I went on back to back to back was surprising to me, because I am a mood reader. The fact that my attention span was held on for that long, a-okay. And very emotional month as well. December is gonna be a complete 180 of this, because we have more lovey-dovey books rather than emotional damaging books like in November. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!